In Cinema 4D, you can apply dynamics to let objects perform all kinds of different tasks, from acting as if they're made of solid substances to cloth substances, and also having those objects bounce and interact in some fashion. Let me go ahead and just do a playback of this scene I set up here, and you're going to see all kinds of cool stuff happen. So this little red ball is going to crash into this paper, which is set up as paper, bounce off this wall, bounce on this cube, and then knock these guys down. So here we go. So you can create your own mousetrap if you want to. Now let's go ahead and talk about how it's done. So I'm going to just create a brand new scene as always, and we're going to start with just the basics. So I'm going to create a cube. I'll go ahead and scale this guy like so. And I'm also going to tilt it. So we have a little bit of a ramp. I'm going to add a sphere now. And let's go ahead and scale that guy down. And move him up like so. So he can actually interact with this cube and continue down the path. We'll go ahead and add some other elements in just a moment. So let's talk about the different types of parameters we can apply to these guys as far as dynamics. So on the sphere, let's go ahead and right click, and we're going to go to the simulation tags, and we're going to choose which one we'd like the ball to have. So if it's going to hit things, we need it to be a rigid body. All right. The cube is going to be the thing that it collides into. So we're going to go back to simulation tags, and we're going to add a collider body. I'll go ahead and just press play. You see right away it works. However, unlike the example that I had earlier, this ball is not bouncing. So we're going to go to the sphere, and we're going to click on its tag, all right? Its dynamic body tag, and we're going to change a couple of the parameters. Now, as you can see here, the dynamics are enabled, but I want to come down to the lower part of this and enable the bounce. Currently, it's at the 50%, so I'll increase this to about 100 and something, and I'll press play again. Now it bounces a little bit more. We can, of course, increase this bounce until we get the bounce we're happy with. Now let's go ahead and add a copy of this because it already has the dynamics attached to it. So I'm going to zoom out, and I'm going to go up to my Objects Manager, and I'm going to Control Drag to make a copy. And I'll take this new cube, and I'll move it over. And I'm going to rotate it as well. I think I'll try something different this time and make it go this direction. And I'll move it down. And hopefully the ball will actually hit it. So I'll go ahead and just scale a little bit more and move it down. And I'll press play. And it actually bounced right back to the top of the other one. So as you can see, that's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and add something for the ball to actually crash into. This time a soft body. So I'm going to go and add a plane. I'll rotate it. Doesn't really matter how we rotate it. It could be crooked if you want. I'm going to scale it down as well. And I'll put it right here so that the ball can crash into it on its way down. Now for the plane, I'm going to right click on it and give it a tag as well, a simulation tag. I'll choose soft body. I'm going to rewind, and let's just see what happens. So let me deselect everything and see. Now you see that the cloth starts to move, and we don't want that to happen. Now this is where the ability to tell it what to do is important. So as you can see here, we have this category under the planes dynamics tag. All right, so we have the collision tag, and we have a dynamics tag. Now the dynamics tag is what we want for this one, where it says trigger. Now as you see, because it says immediately by default, as soon as we press play, it starts to do its thing. We don't want it to do anything until it gets hit by this ball. So we're going to go to immediately and then change it to on collision. This time, he should stay put, we hope, because paper doesn't know how to behave. So I'm going to rewind, press play. Awesome. And now it doesn't do anything until it's actually hit by the ball. Pretty sweet so far. Now I'll go ahead and move it a little further. Press play. And it actually interacts with this as well. Because everything else has a collision tag and it's a hard body, it will recognize that. So I'm going to go ahead and once again rewind. And the paper actually crumples on this plane here, or this floor. So as you can see, you can have yourself quite a good time just playing around with these dynamics. I'll even lift it up a little further and do this. And once again, we will play. So go ahead and explore and experiment. Try adding different types of tags to the different elements in your scenes, from rigid bodies to hard bodies to changing all kinds of parameters like bounce, gravity, and so on. So once again, this is an example of some of the amazing dynamics that you can apply to the objects in your scenes.